Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, born Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark, 1 June 10, 1921, FN1, is the husband of Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms. Philip was born into the Greek and Danish royal families. He was born in Greece, but his family was exiled from the country when he was an infant. After being educated in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, he joined the British Royal Navy in 1939, aged 18. From July 1939, he began corresponding with the 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth, whom he had first met in 1934. During the Second World War he served with distinction in the Mediterranean and Pacific fleets. After the war, Philip was granted permission by George VI to marry Elizabeth. Before the official announcement of their engagement in July 1947, he abandoned his Greek and Danish titles and styles, became a naturalized British subject, and adopted his maternal grandparents' surname Mountbatten. He married Elizabeth on November 20, 1947. Just before the wedding, he was granted the style His Royal Highness and created Duke of Edinburgh, Earl of Merioneth and Baron Greenwich by King George VI. Philip left active military service when Elizabeth became Queen in 1952, having reached the rank of Commander, and was formally made a British Prince in 1957. Philip and Elizabeth have 4 children: Prince Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward. Through a British Order in Council issued in 1960, descendants of the couple not bearing royal styles and titles can use the surname Mountbatten-Windsor, which has also been used by some members of the royal family who do hold titles, such as Princess Anne, and Princes Andrew and Edward. A keen sports enthusiast, Philip helped develop the equestrian event of carriage driving. He is a patron, president, or member of over 780 organizations, and he serves as chairman of the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, a self-improvement program for young people aged 14 to 24. 2. He is the longest-serving consort of a reigning British monarch and the oldest ever male member of the British royal family. Philip retired from his royal duties on August 2, 2017, aged 96, having completed 22,219 solo engagements since 1952. Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark was born in Mone Repos on the Greek island of Corfu on June 10, 1921, the only son and fifth and final child of Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark and Princess Alice of Battenberg. 3. A member of the House of Glucksburg, the ruling house of Denmark, he was a prince of both Greece and Denmark by virtue of his patrilineal descent from George I of Greece and Christian IX of Denmark, and he was from birth in the line of succession to both thrones. FN2, Philip's 4 elder sisters were Margarita, Theodora, Cecily, and Sophie. He was baptized in the Greek Orthodox rite at St. George's Church in the Old Fortress in Corfu. Shortly after Philip's birth, his maternal grandfather Prince Louis of Battenberg, then known as Louis Mountbatten, Marquess of Milford Haven, died in London. Louis was a naturalized British subject who, after a career in the Royal Navy, had renounced his German titles and adopted the surname Mountbatten, an anglicised version of Battenberg, during the First World War, owing to anti-German sentiment in Britain. After visiting London for his grandfather's memorial service, Philip and his mother returned to Greece, where Prince Andrew had remained to command a Greek army division embroiled in the Greco-Turkish War. 5. The war went badly for Greece, and the Turks made large gains. Philip's uncle and high commander of the Greek expeditionary force, King Constantine I, was blamed for the defeat and was forced to abdicate on September 27, 1922. The new military government arrested Prince Andrew, along with others. The commanding officer of the army, General Georgios Hatzianestis, and 5 senior politicians, were arrested, tried, and executed in the trial of the 6. Prince Andrew's life was also believed to be in danger, and Princess Alice was under surveillance. Finally in December, a revolutionary court banished Prince Andrew from Greece, for life. 6. The British naval vessel HMS Calypso evacuated Prince Andrew's family, with Philip carried to safety in a cot made from a fruit box. Philip's family went to France, where they settled in the Paris suburb of St. Cloud in a house lent to them by his wealthy aunt, Princess George of Greece and Denmark. 7. Because Philip left Greece as a baby, he does not speak Greek. In 1992, he said that he could understand a certain amount. 8. Philip has stated that he thought of himself as Danish, and his family spoke English, French, and German. 8. Philip, who in his youth was known for his charm, was linked to a number of women, including Osla Benning. 9. Philip was first educated at the Elms. 10. An American school in Paris run by Donald Majanet, who described Philip as a know-it-all smarty person, but always remarkably polite. 11. In 1928, he was sent to the United Kingdom to attend Cheam School, living with his maternal grandmother, Victoria Mountbatten, Dowager Marchioness of Milford Haven, at Kensington Palace, and his uncle, George Mountbatten, 2nd Marquess of Milford Haven, at Linden Manor in Bray, Berkshire. 12. In the next 3 years, his 4 sisters married German princes and moved to Germany. His mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia and placed in an asylum. 13. And his father took up residence in Monte Carlo. 14. Philip had little contact with his mother for the remainder of his childhood. 15. In 1933, he was sent to Schule Schloss Salem in Germany, which had the advantage of saving school fees because it was owned by the family of his brother-in-law, Berthold, Margrave of Baden. 16. With the rise of Nazism in Germany, Salem's Jewish founder, Kurt Hahn, fled persecution and founded Gordonstone School in Scotland, to which Philip moved after 2 terms at Salem. 17. In 1937, his sister Cecily, her husband Georg Donatus, hereditary Grand Duke of Hesse, her 2 young sons, Ludwig and Alexander, her newborn infant, and her mother-in-law, Princess Eleanor of Solms-Hohenzollern-Lich, were killed in an air crash at Ostend. Philip, then 16 years old, attended the funeral in Darmstadt. 18. The following year, his uncle and guardian Lord Milford Haven died of bone marrow cancer. 19. After leaving Gordonstone in early 1939, Philip completed a term as a cadet at the Royal Naval College, Dartmouth, then repatriated to Greece, living with his mother in Athens for a month in mid-1939. At the behest of the Greek king, George II, he returned to Britain in September to resume training for the Royal Navy. 20. He graduated from Dartmouth the next year as the best cadet in his course. 21. During the Second World War, he continued to serve in the British forces, while 2 of his brothers-in-law, Prince Christoph of Hesse and Berthold, Margrave of Baden, fought on the opposing German side. 22. Philip was appointed as a midshipman in January 1940. He spent 4 months on the battleship HMS Ramillies, protecting convoys of the Australian Expeditionary Force in the Indian Ocean, followed by shorter postings on HMS Kent, on HMS Shropshire, and in Ceylon. 23. After the invasion of Greece by Italy in October 1940, he was transferred from the Indian Ocean to the battleship HMS Valiant in the Mediterranean Fleet. 24. On February 1, 1941, 25, Philip was commissioned as a sub-lieutenant after a series of courses at Portsmouth, in which he gained the top grade in 4 out of 5 sections of the qualifying examination. 26. Among other engagements, he was involved in the Battle of Crete, and was mentioned in dispatches for his service during the Battle of Cape Matapan, 10, in which he controlled the battleship's searchlights. He was also awarded the Greek War Cross. 21. In June 1942, he was appointed to the V&W class destroyer and flotilla leader HMS Wallace, which was involved in convoy escort tasks on the east coast of Britain, as well as the Allied invasion of Sicily. 27. Promotion to lieutenant followed on July 16, 1942. 28. In October of the same year, he became first lieutenant of HMS Wallace, at 21 years old, one of the youngest first lieutenants in the Royal Navy. During the invasion of Sicily, in July 1943, as second in command of Wallace, he saved his ship from a night bomber attack. He devised a plan to launch a raft with smoke floats that successfully distracted the bombers, allowing the ship to slip away unnoticed. 27. In 1944, he moved on to the new destroyer, HMS Whelp, where he saw service with the British Pacific Fleet in the 27th Destroyer Flotilla. 29-30, he was present in Tokyo Bay when the instrument of Japanese surrender was signed. Philip returned to the United Kingdom on the Whelp in January 1946, and was posted as an instructor at HMS Royal Arthur, the Petty Officers' School in Corsham, Wiltshire. 31. In 1939, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth toured the Royal Naval College, Dartmouth. During the visit, the Queen and Louis Mountbatten asked Philip to escort the King's two daughters, Elizabeth and Margaret, who were Philip's third cousins through Queen Victoria, and second cousins once removed through King Christian IX of Denmark. 32. Elizabeth fell in love with Philip, and they began to exchange letters when she was 13. 33.